So there's some people who wonder why I'm not smiling more, why I'm not laughing. You don't know this, but please understand, if my entire existence has just been disappointments, setbacks, and failures, dealing with dishonest, mischievous, treacherous, despicable, heinous people, people who lie about me, people who slanders my name, people who are attempting to destroy my life. If my entire existence has just been taking hits, trial and error, recuperating from damage, constant and endless war, being caught in a state of distraught, stress, having nightmares, challenges, problems to solve all of the time, continuous, indefinite adversity. I mean, how exactly do you expect me to smile and be happy all the time? I mean, surely you can put on an act like it doesn't affect you, it doesn't take a toll on you, don't carry the scars and the trauma of your past experiences. And you can act quite convincingly. I mean, how often do you meet people, ask them how they're doing, and their immediate response is, I'm doing good. But if you actually gain insight into their life circumstances, you realize their life is falling apart. They're not doing good. They're not doing great. I mean, if you're divorced, you lost your job, you're an alcoholic, and people ask you how you're doing, oh, I'm fine. Well, there might be something seriously wrong with you. But having said that, I will say, though, that I do get that it is generally frowned upon that you have a pessimistic outlook on life, that you are dispirited, and despite the challenges you face, despite stupendous odds, despite numerous setbacks, you should still keep the faith. You should still stay optimistic. You should still stay solution oriented. But if you ask me why I'm not smiling, I'm not a psychologist by any means. I'm not a psychoanalyst. I do not have the research to back this up, but I'm pretty sure that unexpressed emotions, given time, will be permanently etched on your face. So I feel very enraged at times. I feel very disheartened, depressed, but I do not put any stock in those emotions whatsoever. I feel them unwillingly, but it doesn't mean anything. It will not change how I act. If I wake up in a certain mood, I will still complete the task that must be completed. I will still go to work. I will still remain dutiful. That's what you need to do. It's what you need to do. I mean, nobody really cares about how you feel, so why should you care? It changes nothing. Work must still be done. So I've had many times where I felt like wreaking havoc, punching this guy in the face, succumbing to my own feelings, locking myself in a room and just staying there and crying. But I'm not going to do it. I do not allow it. It will not change how I act. And showing emotion, showing the most emotion, does not mean that you feel the most emotion. Again, it doesn't mean anything, and it certainly shouldn't dictate your life. There are people who consider consulting a therapist to sit and having an interaction with another person to talk about how they feel and why they feel them. I've wondered, why don't people in the third world never consult a therapist or a psychologist to talk about their problems? So it seems to me that they are more in dire need of it, given the life that they'll live with so much uncertainty, living in a war-torn country, living in poverty, not being able to fully rely on law and order. If somebody steals something from you, there's no guarantee of finding the perpetrators. There's no guarantee of getting your property back. Worry about the security for your children. In the extreme case, not having a roof over your head. Worry about your next meal, clean water, heat, electricity, etc. The last thing that they think about is to consult a therapist, let alone pay him money to sit and talk about their problems. Yet you, with your career and your big house and your wife, with your highly structured, organized routine, seem to somehow struggle. You don't have any actual problems. Your life is so good that your mind has now gotten to the point where you start to looking for problems, looking for flaws, looking for something that seems to be out of order when it isn't. I guess it's just the way the human mind works. I'm not trying to say that therapy is all damaging. It is futile for the most part for most people, very inefficient. Although I advocate for meditation, for introspection, in allowing yourself to retreat, as I do right now. But there are other avenues that are far more effective. If you go into a boxing ring with a worthy adversary and endure all rounds, or complete something very physically demanding, something excruciating, complete a marathon, do 50 burpees with a 30-kilo weighted vest in cold weather or hot weather. I mean, you can really get to know you about spirituality there and what you're made of, how much you can take, your strengths and weaknesses. What I'm trying to say, you cannot learn about life, how to live life well, without being physically exposed. So you cannot learn about it by reading. You cannot learn about it, how to live life well, by having an interaction with another person. You need to get out there and be physically exposed with by having balance in your mind first and foremost. That should always be, at all times, be your priority. You know, just as I sit here, nice, pleasant, undisturbed. It's freezing outside, I don't feel the cold, but if I sit here in this nice environment for an extended period of time, without deliberately, with intent, balancing it out with its opposite, its perceived quality and experience quality will be degraded. So you've lived a very sedentary life, perhaps. You lived a very saturated life, unbalanced life. You need to take action and be deliberate and balance it out, and have exhaustiveness as a priority, and good health as a priority. This is not me lamenting. This is just me reflecting. This is me allowing myself to retreat and stepping away from the canvas that is my life, and looking at things for how they really are. And I hope you might find I hope you'll find some value out of this. I'm doing this equally for my own sake as much as for others. The things that I'm sharing, I've said this before, it's not like it hasn't been shared by other people numerous times before on many times before on many different platforms. But perhaps my own unique life experiences, my own unique outlook will illuminate certain matters to you in a way that you find insightful. That's my hope, at least. Thank you for watching.